Well, I wish you were here in the morning because it is something when these guys are working.
Jay Blyke takes us behind the scenes of his dry cleaning business, B Cleaners, a Portland, Oregon staple since 1951. Conveyor belts, usually full of clothes, show signs of economic strain.
Oh my gosh, especially now, yeah. I mean, we're facing not only lowered sales, but our expenses are spiraling upwards, our labor is spiraling upwards.
A business owner struggling to survive hit with another setback in September. Someone broke 2 of his windows, costing him $1,200 each to replace, the 4th time in the past few years.
It's compounding the pain and agony. Yeah, it really is. And it's exhausting. You just want to throw in the towel, honestly. It's really difficult.
The man police say did it, Tyler Miller, caught in this surveillance video breaking windows at 5 other storefronts the same day. Police immediately made an arrest. Blyke thought the man would face consequences for the crime. Instead, court records show a judge released the 29-year-old hours later because the state of Oregon did not have a public defender to represent him.
How does that make you feel?
I don't want to say that we feel that downtown Portland's lawless, but it's certainly, I mean, if you go downtown, there's graffiti, there's boards everywhere, so it just kind of fits what's happening in the city.
What's happening is a constitutional crisis in Portland. People arrested for crimes, but no court-appointed attorney to represent them required by law. According to the American Bar Association, Oregon has 1/3 of the public defenders it needs, a systemic problem we found happening from coast to coast. In Portland, the county seat of Monoma County, judges have dismissed at least 173 felony cases due to the shortage, cases involving property crimes, stolen vehicles, and domestic violence.
It's broken. Public defense in our county is broken at this point.
Mike Smith is the Monoma County District Attorney.
What kind of message do you think this sends the crime victims?
Oh, it's a terrible message. And what it leads to, I think, is a lack of trust in the system. You know, I came forward, I reported this crime. I expect there to be accountability. And now you're telling me that because of some decision or lack of resources at a different level of government, my case was dismissed? It doesn't make sense.
No attorney is available to appoint.
This October hearing illustrates another part of the problem. In this case, a Monoma County judge declined to dismiss charges against a man accused of felony burglary who had no public defender, but still released him if he promised to return for his next court date. Listen to the judge give the man advice.
And, use your good sense where you can, given that you don't have the advice and assistance of a lawyer.
Unfortunately, the way that that's played out, we've seen in our numbers, over 1,000 cases have been in that posture, and then the defendant doesn't come back. They fail to appear at the subsequent hearings.
An emerging problem while Portland suffers from another crisis. Gun violence and homicides have increased over the past 2 years.
In a 24-hour span, officers investigated 10 shootings that left 10 people struck by gunfire.
It's not an exaggeration to say it is a constitutional crisis.
Stephen Singer is the former executive director of Oregon's Public Defender Office. He says the pandemic didn't create the problem. It exposed decades of underfunding, low pay, and overwhelming caseloads in public defender offices across the country.
And then wham, you get the pandemic and the great resignation and all of these labor shortages on top of that, and it all of a sudden explodes into view.
According to the American Bar Association report, Oregon's public defenders would have to work 26 hours a day to catch up on the current caseload. Singer says judges are doing the right thing, dismissing cases when defendants don't have an attorney.
Not only is it appropriate, I think it's actually constitutionally required, and I wish there were more judges across the country that would exercise that necessary power, because that's the only way you're going to fix the problem.
It's not just happening here in Oregon. We've uncovered other court systems across the country taking similar drastic measures to respond to the crisis. In Wisconsin this year, a judge dismissed drug charges against this man after the 46-year-old waited in jail more than 100 days for the state to find him a public defender.
Wisconsin Supreme Court is now in session.
His case appealed to the state's Supreme Court because the judge's dismissal allowed the district attorney to re-indict him in the future.
And we ask that this court today find that the Sixth Amendment is violated when an eligible defendant is not timely provided counsel.
And in response to shortages in 2004, Massachusetts' highest court ruled that defendants who wait for counsel more than 45 days are entitled to have their charges dismissed.
The judge doesn't have a choice. It's unconstitutional to hold somebody in custody without an attorney.
A problem eroding the public's trust in the criminal justice system, while the accused and victims suffer the consequences of inaction.
I don't have the solution, no.
You just want it fixed.
I just want to fix.